All right, ladies and gentlemen. She is the author of a new book. I believe it's called That's Coola Tallulah. Is that the name of it?
Yes, it is. That's Coola Tallulah.
And you've also voiced Angelica Pickles for many years. I can't even count the years. So you had
It's
to excuse me. I think it was 1991, right?
Yes, it was 1991. So this August, it's going to be the 30 years anniversary.
I congratulations. I'm so sorry. I honestly forgot.
Oh no, that's okay.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank
30
you.
years of Rugrats.
Yes. Yeah, and we the reboot is coming out in May or sometime in the spring. We don't know the exact date, but it's going to be sometime in the spring.
I'll look forward to watching that.
Yes.
I guess my first question would be, how did you get involved with Rugrats?
Well, let's see. I was working at Spunko Entertainment. That's the production offices for the Ren and Stimpy Show. And so they let me go to do different auditions. So one day I got an audition for the Rugrats, and I went there, and it was two characters. It was Tommy and Phil and Lil. So I did, did my best. I did the voices. I don't even remember what voices I did, but I didn't get the part. And so it was up for a pilot. So they have to, when they make the pilot, they, they want to test the pilot to see if it could have the potential of going into a series. So that's what happened with the Rugrats pilot. It did go to series. So they had to make more characters. So they called me back like a year later. They called me back, and I saw this little girl, Angelica, and Chucky. So I tried out for both of them. Mainly, I liked Angelica. So and to my luck, I happened to get it. I was working, doing I was doing a job for The Simpsons. I was doing background voices for The Simpsons, and I got a call from my agent and said, "You got Rugrats," and I was just so excited. It was so thrilling. But we didn't know back then if it was gonna. We just thought it was, a little voiceover series. We didn't think it was gonna be the huge global phenomenon that it grew up to be.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah.
I can tell you that for sure.
Yes.
And you do a wonderful job as Angelica. I mean,
Oh.
she is so terrible. Like
Oh.
I literally get these reactions where I just want to yell and scream.
She is a little bad girl sometimes. Well, most of the time, but she does have redeeming qualities. I mean, and she does love the babies, even though she likes to bug them and boss them around. She would be lost without them because they're family. I mean Tommy and Angelica are cousins, and she doesn't and Angelica doesn't like anyone else bossing the babies around or messing with the baby. She gets really upset about that and gets mad and gets on people's cases if they bother her babies. She's the only one that could boss her babies around.
Yeah,
So
I noticed that. I
yeah.
noticed there was one episode where I think she was bossing them around or something, and somebody came along and said, "Hey, I can promise you a better life, so to speak." I'm paraphrasing.
Right.
I won't boss you around the way she does. And then I forgot what his name was, but then they followed him, and then he turned out to be worse, and she had to go and save the babies. And I'm like, wait a minute, the villain is now the savior. That
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that episode. I don't know the title of the episode, but they're in the playground, right?
that
They're in
that
the
that was a bit ironic.
so every once in a while somebody comes around and wants to mess with the babies, but nope, they're off limits. They're only Angelica's babies.
Yeah, I noticed that. I guess My second question would be, if you had to explain the origin of Angelica's behavior, what would you say? Like, why is she so mean? What is that about?
Well, she's an only child. She's spoiled, and her parents, I don't know, I mean, Charlotte is very businesslike, and oh, she's all about being, Miss Corporate, and Drew, he's a businessman himself, so they're involved with their career. So maybe Angelica is left alone a lot to fend for herself, and so she's feeling insecure, and she wants to make sure that the babies like her, or that's the only way that she can relate, maybe, is being bossy.
Hmm.
But I mean, Angelica is used to getting her own way because she doesn't have to learn how to share. Or I mean, when she was a little kid, she didn't, she was an only child, so she did the best she could with what she got. And
I
so
think you do a fantastic job at it. Like I said, when I started doing research for this interview, I just basically binge watched all the episodes all over again, and I had to zoom in on Angelica and see if I could notice anything. And I looked at her and I said, she is not a nice person. Although I have had people tell me that, she cares about the baby, and, that's just her way. It's like a little defense mechanism.
right, yeah, exactly. I mean, she's not bad all the time, or you wouldn't want to really watch her. So,
I
um,
agree with that.
yeah, she is comical, and they needed to the creators of Rugrats needed to have that kind of character. They needed to have a antagonist in the mix so that they can create all the conflict for Tommy and Chucky and Phil and Lil, because they're just sweet little babies playing their little baby games, and Angelica is the one that comes in there and stirs up the pot, and creates drama and creates all kinds of mischief in the mix.
And she really loves cookies, that's for sure.
She loves cookies. That's her favorite food in the world.
Yeah, I saw one episode where I think she said to Tommy, "Hey, find out where the cookies are," and they were in a jar. And at the end of the episode, when she found them, they were about to fall into the water. And
Yeah, right.
water to get the cookies. And I'm saying to myself, if you're diving into water to get cookies,
She must really like them.
yeah, you've got a little bit of an addiction going on there.
Well, I mean, there's this other episode where I don't know the name of it. It's called Spike the Wonder Dog. And
Okay.
and Angelica, they put on she put on her Cynthia phone. She attached it to Spike's collar,
Hmm.
so it was like a walkie-talkie. And so she made a voice for she was pretending to speak like Spike, and everyone was thinking that the babies were thinking that Spike was talking. And so she hid herself in the backyard, and she said, and she spoke into the walkie-talkie, hey Spike, go get me some cookies, I forgot which voice she used, but she, for Spike, she was telling Spike to go get cookies. So she must really, really like cookies if
Yeah,
she's gonna go through all that trouble,
yeah,
you
she's
know?
a thing for cookies. That
I know.
it's crazy. I mean, I like cookies, but I don't know if I would dive into water to get them, or if I would attach some kind of walkie-talkie to a dog to
Right.
have my voice come and emanate from him. I don't know if I would go through all that for cookies.
Yeah, I don't think so either. No.
But my next question is, what was your favorite cartoon as a child, and why? I mean, did you like cartoons?
Yeah, I liked cartoons. I mean, of course, any child would love cartoons, but I loved Bugs Bunny, and because I loved watching him, because he seems to like be so like get whatever he wanted out of what he was I don't know, I liked watching him because you couldn't fool Bugs Bunny. He always got the upper hand with everybody. And I like the Flintstones. I like Little Pebbles Flintstone. I remember watching, I liked seeing, Wilma and Barney have a little baby girl. I liked watching that when I was 5. That was cute to me. And I like some of the other some cartoons, you wouldn't know because, you're way too young, but, Top Cat and Gigantor and, there's so many of them. But yeah, but mainly Bugs Bunny was my favorite.
Yeah, he seems to have a bit of a sinister side there.
Yeah. He had a sassy side to him,
Yeah.
You couldn't outsmart him.
He was almost like the Angelica of rabbits,
I would think so. I would call him the Angelica of rabbits. Yeah, I think you nailed the head. You nailed it right on the head there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did the writers have any plans to give Angelica a sibling, or was she always supposed to be an only child?
I think there was one episode where Charlotte was going to have a baby, but then it didn't work out. I don't know. I know her just being a single kid, an only child. I don't know. I don't think Drew and Charlotte have enough energy to have another child besides Angelica. I think they only have to, handle her because she's a ball of fire, that one.
Yeah, I was just going to say she's a force.
She is.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd be able to deal with that as a father,
No,
I could deal with that.
I know, yeah.
I'm surprised Drew, I'm surprised he wasn't scratching his head or pulling his hair out or hair turning gray or...
He probably does a lot of that. I'm sure he does.
So what convinced you to do this reboot? Because you're back after all this time. Cheryl Chase is back as Angelica Pickles.
Yep, I am.
Why have you come back?
Well, I'm just so happy because after doing Angelica for so many years, you kind of form a bond and you find, you're attached to the character and you feel like you've brought her to life for so many years. And then it's like, then this long space, of it not being on the air, and now they're reviving it. So it just feels like so good to be able to do it again because you missed her. I mean, it was fun doing Angelica, and it just brings me joy to know it brings so much joy to other people because lately, well, not now because of the pandemic, but years ago I would be at the gym or wherever, and people would out me and say, "Oh, she's Angelica, the voice of Angelica." And adults would just come up to me and say, "Oh man, you were my childhood." Oh,
exactly.
Yeah, it's like, "Oh, I love meeting you. I'm so honored to meet you. You're so great." And it just really affected them so much, this cartoon, and it makes me feel honored to be able to do that.
I'm just honored right now speaking to you because I'm such a huge fan of Nickelodeon, and I still am. I'm just in awe right now. I used to watch Rugrats every day when I was a child. I watched it so faithfully, and when I do these interviews with these celebrities, I always tell them I love you guys so much. I love each and every one of you. You made my childhood awesome, and now I get to meet you all these years later. You saw me write it on Facebook the other day. Meeting you guys is so wonderful.
You're so sweet, Darnell. Thank you so much. You're so sweet.
I want to thank you for doing this interview. I'm having a blast.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
There's you, Miranda Cosgrove, Jeanette McCurdy, all you guys. You are just wonderful. I've had so many people ask me on YouTube, "Hey, who's coming to your channel? Who is it? It's from Nickelodeon." I said, "Hey, I can't tell you." A lot of people thought it was Miranda. I'm like, "No, it's not Miranda. It would be cool to meet her someday, but right now I have you on. You are an absolute legend.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Angelica's the legend.
Yeah,
So.
it's it's criminal that you don't have your own day like Angelica Day or something.
Oh, thank
Like,
you.
how are you not verified on Twitter? So many people have the blue check mark, and I'm like, why doesn't she have one? I don't get it.
Well, I mean, I don't. I'm not on Twitter. I don't have a lot of followers on Twitter. Most likely Instagram or Facebook, but Twitter. I have to get more on it. I have to say, I don't know. I only have like over 1,000 followers. I don't have thousands and thousands of followers on Twitter.
Well,
So.
you definitely need it. I still can't believe I'm sitting here right now with you. It's crazy.
Well, thank you, Darnell. It's a pleasure to do your podcast.
Myself and my brother, we watched you every night at 7:30. That's the time you aired
Yeah,
in our area. Uh,
right.
and if you could just give a shout out to my brother, I'm sure he would love it. His name is Maurice, so if you could just shout him out real quick.
Hey, Maurice, you dumb baby! I'm so glad you love the show. You keep watching. You keep watching Angelica on Paramount Plus when it comes out. You
I
dumb baby!
I definitely will show him that.
Okay. Well,
I
I'm glad you boys love the show.
Yeah, we definitely do. And my next question would be, what is your favorite thing about voice acting?
Oh, I like the way that, there's so many things. I mean, I like being expressing a character and not being seen doing it. I just like to give the character all the attention and have them have all the glory. And I like to be behind the scenes and do whatever the character wants. It's so fun being Angelica. I mean, she has all this attention on her and everyone, she's such a star, but I'm so humble to do her voice and bring her to life. It's fun. It's so fun. It's really a great feeling.
Rugrats was a little different, though. I think most of the characters were portrayed by women. Uh,
Yeah,
why?
we're all women. Yeah.
Yeah, why is that?
I don't know. That's just how it worked out. Because women usually they have thinner vocal cords, and these babies, they're just little babies. So little babies don't have heavy, thick vocal cords like the men do. So
Yeah.
you have to have a woman do the voice, so it
Hmm.
sounds normal. I mean, sounds like a little baby.
So let me see. There was Stu Pickles, there's Drew, and there's Lou Pickles. I think those were the only three. Wait, there's Chaz. That's right. There's Chaz.
There's Chaz, and there was Howard in the first season, but they're not having Howard back. They don't have him.
Okay.
Betty, which is the wife of Howard in the old
Hmm.
series, she's single in this new series.
Wow.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's new. I wonder what's
Yeah.
wrong with that.
Yeah, and she's also a gay character. They have her
Is she?
being a gay.
Wow.
Yep.
Hmm. That's different.
Yep. Yep. It is.
I also want to applaud you guys for bringing on because you pointed out having a gay character, and you also have uh, a minority family. You have the Carmichael family,
Yes,
Susie.
Susie. Yes, Susie. Susie is more with the babies now. Before she was with Angelica, battling Angelica, and Angelica still, they have their moments. But in this series, you're gonna find that Susie is with the babies now.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I have to say I did enjoy the rivalry between Susie and Angelica. Um, I like how she always stood up to Angelica, and it sent a good message, that even though Angelica wasn't terrible, she was a bit of a bully. And we do want to encourage young people to stand up to bullies. And I think even though I'm not a woman, I can identify with the Susie Carmichael character, you know.
Right.
And I think we all need to be Susie Carmichael and stand up to bullies. So I really like the message that you guys put out there with Susie. Great job
Yes.
on that.
Yeah. She's still Susie, but they made her a little younger and she hangs out with the babies. And so Angelica has a lot of scenes with grandpa. She's with grandpa a lot, I noticed.
Oh, okay.
But she's also with the babies, don't get me wrong. So she's still she's not as mean. I don't see her as she does add conflict. She adds all the conflict. She's a little spitfire, but she's not as really mean as she was in the very first season of the Rugrats way back in 1990,
Mhm.
91. So they made her more. They made her, they softened her up a bit, and I love her. She's fantastic. She's a joy,
Do
to
you
do.
have any of the merchandise or the memorabilia? Like, do you have Angelica dolls or anything like that?
Yeah, I have a lot of that stuff. They're all in boxes, and I have boxes and boxes of them. And I used to have so much more. I used to be involved with a charity called Famous Phone Friends, and I would talk to little kids who were sick in the hospital with cancer. And then after I would talk to them, well, as Angelica, of course, they would with Famous Phone Friends, the kids would request talking to their favorite cartoon character, and so Angelica was on the list, and so I would get a lot of requests. And after I would speak to them as Angelica, I would send a little care package to them, to the family of Angelica items, fun
Wow,
little things. So that was really rewarding to do, you know?
that that's awesome. Have
Yeah, it was good.
Have you ever met any fans who have asked you to do Angelica? And if so, does it annoy you? Like, are they always coming up to you and saying, "Hey, do Angelica"?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's not to the where I'm annoyed with it. I'm not, because it doesn't happen. It happens, but I don't notice it. It doesn't. I mean, I enjoy meeting the fans so much and talking to them that supersedes any like request they would make for like, oh, do the voice, because most of the time they don't do that, I guess out of respect. They don't want to bother me or something. But and you're in a public place, so Angelica is kind of loud, so I don't want people to know that I'm doing it. I
Yeah,
don't want them to know. So, but no, it's okay. It doesn't really bother me.
because I have to tell you, if it were me, I would ask you. I'd be like, "Hey, do Angelica."
Oh, I can do Angelica. Hey, Darnell, you dumb baby. Thank you for having me on your podcast because I'm so beautiful and so wonderful. Of course, you would want someone like me on your podcast because I'm a star.
Yeah, that's right. You definitely are. You definitely are a star. I noticed that in a 1999 episode of Rugrats, Chucky used the word pee. He
Uh
said
huh.
having to pee. So, I mean, did the writers intend on taking Rugrats in an edgier direction? Because we know what that word is short for. So, when I heard pee, I turned around and looked at the TV. I said, "Did he just say pee?"
Well, I mean, Rugrats in general was an edgy cartoon. Because they did delve into family issues. But they, as far little kids love potty humor, and so they tried to interject that into the TV series. It's more in the movies. There's more potty humor in the movies, I noticed. Um, but it is an edgy show. I mean, the drawings look edgy, and I mean, just the design of the show, and they were, I don't know, it was kind of like a new Rugrats was, and Doug and Ren and Stimpy were very, they were like a new breed of cartoons. You know, it was like in the like it was starting the golden age back in the 90s of cartoons. So I think that, you know, I think the show, all of the show had a little bit of edge to it. That's why it was so successful.
Yeah, and now they definitely don't shy away from doing edgy content. Um, you have to forgive me. When I was a kid, Nickelodeon was much more. Um, I'm not going to say it's not family friendly now, but when I was a kid, they definitely did not have the kind of content that they have on there now. You know,
Right.
it still amazes me to see iCarly and she's kissing somebody or whatever, and I'm saying, okay, is this the same Nickelodeon that I grew up with?
Right, exactly.
But
Yeah.
things change, and like I said, we're talking about 1999, and so by 1999, things were changing anyway.
Yeah, there, it's like different. I mean, children, I mean, the audiences change with the times.
Yeah,
So it's, back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there was a different voice. I mean, a different the times were different. And like now, the times are, so fast paced, and so like, you have to be, the cartoons have to be real sharp and real fast, and because, you'll lose you'll lose the interest of the audience, because that's what they're used to. If it's too slow, it won't grab the child,
I
you'll lose.
agree. And
Yeah.
it's not to say that this new Rugrats won't be any good. I'm definitely gonna watch it, but there's that part of me that will always enjoy the original run. And
Exactly.
um, again, and it's nothing against the new one. I'm just a
Oh no.
classic guy, you know.
Oh no, it's like, absolutely, because you feel nostalgic with the old cartoons, because that's what made you feel good as a child. These new Rugrats are going to be introduced to a whole new breed of children. So they're discovering it for the first time, and then 20 years from now they'll be nostalgic about the new reboot, because
Yeah.
they're embracing it in their childhood.
And
So
again, I think the writers were great with Rugrats. You guys did an awesome job. I mean, I watched I think the first Rugrats film, and I think it came out in 1998, and I said to myself, this movie actually deals with crime, and I say that because there was a missing child or missing children. Tommy and the rest of the kids were essentially missing because the definition of missing is when you can't be confirmed alive or dead. So
yeah.
I said, they're dealing with crime, and I really enjoyed the first movie. I have to go back and watch the other films, but that first one really touched me because it dealt with crime. You know that crime is a big thing now. It's all over.
Right.
Everyone's
Yes.
doing these crime shows,
Yes.
and you
Yeah.
sibling rivalry between Tommy and Dill, and I guess Tommy was a bit jealous. It was just I enjoyed it. You guys explored some great territory.
Well, yeah, it was groundbreaking, and that movie was the first movie to make $100 million. It made more money than the Disney movie, because usually the Disney movies were making, hundreds of millions of dollars, but that first Rugrats movie made $100 million.
That
And back then in I guess it was 98 or something around there. that was a huge thing. That was a huge major accomplishment for a cartoon show.
I absolutely love Nickelodeon. I just want to let them know, Nickelodeon, if you're listening, I love you guys. I I just want to totally become immersed in the Nickelodeon culture. I want to dump slime all over myself right now. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm enjoying speaking with you. I hope to meet Keenan and Kel someday.
Oh,
Maybe
I hope you do.
Cosgrove. I absolutely love you guys. Have you met any of them? Have you met Miranda or Keenan and Kel or any of them?
No, I haven't. No. I think though, wait, was Keenan and Kel around in the 90s? Were they?
Yes, they were. Yeah.
Okay, I met them at a party at night late. It was a Rugrat, I mean, it was a Nickelodeon event. I did meet them, yes, in passing. I
But
did meet them. I don't remember what we talked about, but we definitely I met the two of them.
but you have not met the newer stars like Miranda Cosgrove or
No, I haven't. No. Mm-mm. I'm sorry, what does Miranda do?
she's in that show iCarly. Have you heard
Okay. Yeah, I heard. Oh yes, I've heard of
of
iCarly. Yeah, but I don't know Miranda. I'm sure she's fantastic with what she does because she's a
Well,
star.
I'll tell you what, if you ever run into her, you tell her she's got a huge fan out there.
I will. I'll tell her. I
What
will.
what do you consider to be Angelica's worst deed if you had to think of something?
I think. Well, she remember the trial, and she broke the clown lamp, and she
Yeah.
blamed it, and she tried to have this trial and try to convict all the other babies. And then she said how and when Aunt Dee Dee confronts her, Angelica, you broke the lamp. She says, yeah, I broke it, and I would do it. Oh, wait a minute, that was she said, and I would do it again.
Yeah.
And then Aunt Dee Dee comes in and catches her. So
Mm.
I just thought she was really mean in that one. And another moment of Angelica, she was if this was the Grand Canyon episode, and she was in her car seat in the back seat, and she had little Cynthia. She had Cynthia, and she was saying, Cynthia, you need a nap. So you take a nap, and she throws the doll just on the floor and just like throws her, I
Yeah.
just thought, oh my gosh, she is a little mean girl.
I
And
have to agree with you. That clown lamp, that was awful.
yeah, that
Yeah,
was.
I
Yeah.
have to agree with you there. Before I get to my final question, please tell us about your new book.
Oh, well, it's a great, oh, it's called That's Coola Talulah, and it's on Amazon now,
Hmm.
and you can get it at Amazon. And it's about, actually, it's a little girl, Stella Bella, and her doll, Talulah, and they go through these little adventures in the house. It's raining out. You see, it's raining outside, so Stella Bella is on a quest to have fun. So her doll, Talulah, tempts her to do all kinds of mischief around the house. But Stella Bella's conscience gets the best of her, and she stops the bad behavior before it can get out of hand. And but when they have a tea party, Stella Bella climbs up on the counter to get cookies, and she breaks the cookie jar, and Mommy comes and separates the two best friends. And then, you wonder, will they ever be able to play together again? So you'll have to read the book to find out what happens. But what I came up with the idea of this, the concept of this book of because Angelica and Cynthia, that relationship, I mean, Angelica just loves Cynthia so much. I mean, Cynthia is her best friend. And I just thought of that relationship, and I thought, what would it be like if the doll was the bad girl in the scenario?
Wow.
So that's what I made. So Stella Bella and Talulah are the two best friends in the book, and you'll find out what happens if you find the book. It's on Amazon or CherylChaseBooks.com.
I'll make
Yeah.
sure to put both of those links in the description box for this video. so that they can get it.
Oh, it's awesome. That'd be great.
I have to tell you, I really admire people that love children, and I want to thank you for being on the podcast today. Thank you so much. I have one final question, but I have to say again, thank you. This is so awesome. Anybody that cares about children and that loves their fans, they're all right in my book. You're
Oh,
all right. You're spectacular.
oh, thank you, Darnell. You're so sweet. You're so wonderful. I'm so glad you're doing this podcast and making and interviewing us, celebrities to to touch people's lives. You're
Oh,
doing
I
a
love
really
you
great
guys.
job.
I absolutely do. I've watched you guys growing up. Like I said, I've mostly done people from horror movies, but I wanted to go outside of horror and bring somebody on from a regular TV show. And so I said, I've got to find somebody. So I thought about you one night, and I said, well, let me go and ask her agent and see what he says.
Well, yeah, I'm so happy. Well, I'm more than happy to do that for you.
I have to say, most of the time, when I'm doing these videos or podcasts, I'm always talking about the fictional character Michael Myers from the film Halloween. I don't know if you've ever seen that film. It's a film by John Carpenter, but uh,
Yeah, no, I haven't seen the Halloween. No, but I used to live across the street from the producer of Halloween.
okay, well, yeah, well, Michael Myers is the bad guy in the film, and I say, well, Angelica's not, she doesn't do exactly what he does, but she's kind of mean, so I wouldn't want to run into her either.
Oh, no. Well, hey, if you give her cookies, she won't be mean to you.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. If you had to pitch Rugrats to a new generation of fans, what would you say to them to convince them to watch it?
That's a tough question, but it's a great question. I would just say, it's a, I don't know, it's a very fun-filled show, and it's a family show, and it'll be fun to watch with you and your mom and your parents to watch it together. And yeah, it's all I can say. It's going to be wonderful. It's on Paramount Plus. So everybody who doesn't have Paramount Plus, they better go out and get it so they can watch the show.
I have to say, I'm so sorry that Betty and Howard have divorced. That just saddens me. I liked Howard. He
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. Well, they're gone. That couple is no longer, unfortunately.
Oh well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss Howard.
Well, things happen.
Hmm. Cheryl, it was an absolute pleasure having you on today.
Oh,
Um,
my pleasure, Darnell.
I've been dying to get outside of horror. I love horror movies, don't get me wrong, but I just wanted to do something different, and so
Yes,
I'm
I'm
glad
so
to be here.
well. I'm so glad that I can be your first one outside of horror.
Yeah, I definitely had to do something different, and I'm glad it could be a legend such as yourself.
Oh, thank you. You're so sweet.
Is there anything else you want to say to the audience before we wrap this up?
Well, I just want to say thank you for being fans of the show Rugrats, and
Hey, 30 years!
30,
Congratulations!
30 years, boy, let me tell you. So, it's, the new show is going to be so phenomenal. I want everyone to at least check it out and see what they think.
I
And,
can't believe it, and I'm so sorry. I forgot the anniversary.
oh, that's okay. Yeah, in August is the anniversary, 30th
Yeah,
anniversary. Yep.
that's I'm supposed to remember these things. I'm just so busy with my YouTube channel and uh,
Yeah, no worries.
30 years.
Yeah,
Oh, 30 years of Rugrats.
right. Now there's going to be 30 more years of new Rugrat cartoons.
Yeah, well, perhaps you can autograph something for me, and not an Angelica doll because I'm not a girl, but you know,
Right.
if you had Chucky or Tommy or you know whoever,
Y-
we
Yeah, I'll see what I have. I'll see what I have in my stash.
and believe it or not, even though I think Chucky is better looking, Tommy is my favorite Rugrat.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I'll
Cause
see I'll see if I have any Tommy stuff. I don't know if I do.
yeah, Tommy is the brave one. I admire that guy. I try to live vicariously through Tommy Pickles.
You should try to get E.G. Daily on your podcast.
Oh, I would love to have her on.
Yeah, you should try.
That would be awesome. Again, Cheryl, I want to thank you for being here. You guys be sure and get the book. That's Coola Talulah. And subscribe to Paramount Plus. Check out the new Rugrats reboot coming this spring. Cheryl Chase, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Darnell. It was a pleasure.
It was nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you. You take
All right.
care.
Same to you. We'll talk again soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.